hope you are well. I'm going live just a second or two early. I want to say a special thank you to Zaxxon. Because, let me move aside. Look at this. We all just say thank you humbly for over 150 memberships that you have gifted in the last few weeks. It's just a tremendous gift to us all. I have begun to do a series called TC Radio, and it's members radio. We have a little bit of gaming time with Minecraft. We get to be like little kids, but we listen to true crime radio. So we'll be doing that on every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm excited about that. So just so you know, we're like 82 subscribers away from 34,000 subs. I think I was behind that the whole time I talked. Let me move it over a little bit. Sorry. And so I just wanted to come on early and say that your love and your loyalty in jumping from case to case as we work through things and we figure things out has been tremendously inspiring to me personally. On top of, I have not been able to be here a lot because I got hit by a serious flu bug. So the inspiration that you give to me to get back into this world and look at everything really close has inspired me to look back on why I originally got suspicious of JD and JS in the IDAHO4 case in the beginning. And I'm still there. Those are my two main persons of interest. Doesn't mean they're guilty. We all know that. We're just sharing our opinions. And so I just went and grabbed my snippets of old videos of things that were said in the very, very beginning, because it's more about what they said in the beginning and what they knew then, and now comparing it to what we know now. And there's some issues where we had some serious disconnect. I think it connects them. I think you need to see this. I really do. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to join me on this live presentation. We don't edit here. Get your blanket, get your favorite drink. I've got a sweet tea. Settle in with me and a live audience. And I thank you if you're on replay. My replay crew are very, very important. Thank you. So get with me and my beautiful mods. I think we got like almost every mod here. We have Debbie Gazzardo, Jennifer Swade, Rach Not That Rach. We've got Jennyville. Az may even be here. So I think we've got everybody. And our newest member, Zoe YM. So we have some beautiful mods, beautiful energy, and I'm not here to ruffle feathers. I'm here to relax you and bring you back to grounding the IDAHO4 case. And what do I mean by that? It's so overwhelming. If you listen to what she said, he said, read what they thought, what they feel, listen to this, listen to that. I just want to clear the board, clear the air for a minute, and think about Xana. Think about Ethan, right? Loving couple. Think about down to earth they appear. All right? We got one kid that's kind of like in love, right? He's this guy. He's kind of skimping out on his work because he's wanting to kind of party it up with his girl. And then you got two girls that one has the world by the tail. So for me, I'm looking at Kaylee and I'm going, what a powerhouse. This kid grew up into a young woman that's about to take off on her own. And she's got everything going for her. She's got the grade point average. She's got the job. She's got the car. She's got the dog. Yes, there's an ad she runs that she's going to be getting an apartment in February in Texas with the dog. I've got it. But what I'm saying is, These seem like pretty down to earth kind of kids. Kaylee definitely is focused on getting somewhere in life where she can afford some luxury, and she's doing it. So she did it all last summer. She worked while these are all working kids. They're not sluffers. So I can't just drum up this whole drug theory when they all have nothing in their system during the toxicology report, according to the people that have seen it. I'm just not going to be able to go there. But what I do have is I have knowledge of what we know. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm not here to persuade you. I'm not here to change your view. I'm here to share with you what these people knew in the beginning and what they weren't told not to say in the beginning. And now, where are we? So it's a where are we now moment in the IDAHO4. With that being said, I'm glad I went on early because I went on far too long. Let's go ahead and get our PowerPoint on the board. Hello, everyone. Hi, Claire Lindstedt, Nikki UK. Hey, Sharon. How is everybody? Audrey H., Moonchild71, and Viv. With this, we have a pair of jacks. So think about the corner bar. Think about the victims. We have them at the corner bar. Who are they surrounded by? Jack Showalter. This is all alleged. Beginning of end of my statement, alleged. This is what we think we know. It's all spaghetti. It's all speculation. This is what we think we know. Disclaimer. My humble opinion, allegedly. All right, so we've got these people surrounding Kaylee and Maddie. Who are they? They're the ex, JD, that's just been broke up 10 days. Okay? Who else are they hanging around? Adam, right? The bartender. Also roommates to the ex. Who else are they hanging around? Hoodie guy, Jack Showalter, allegedly. Right there, those are my three suspects because they're caught on camera and they all have something bizarre that cues up a red flag. One, we have an ex. Need I say 98% of all crimes are committed by a significant other? Okay. Suspicion surrounds him naturally, as should be. Number two, we have a guy that is the roommate's ex, that is also a bartender, that also these two girls, when leaving this bar, make a statement about Adam, which happens to be the name of the bartender. As they're going along on this trip, they're being followed, if you will, because there's no invitation point. These two girls show up. We've got hoodie guy with them. He's followed them from the bar with the girls. They're not buddy-buddy to him. They're just tramping along their little trip together, and he's like right on their heels, right? And he's saying something before it all gets rolling, and it sounds like they're going to get you girls, Maddie. They're going to get you girls for this, almost like a taunting. And you see the girls kind of stumble a little bit and try to get back on their beat, and they're just kind of not meeting eye with him, not having a conversation, not acknowledging him. He could be a ghost. You could remove him from the picture, and these two girls do not interact with him. Legitimately, it's bizarre. They never look at him and acknowledge him or turn around and say anything. No, it's as if he's not there. They're trying to ignore him. So then you have Kaylee. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? You have Kaylee. Oh, I just told Adam everything. So in this, one of our listeners that goes way back with me asked a question in chat while we were waiting to get on here, was asking, what does Adam know? And I said, Carl, everything. Adam knows everything. Just saying. So in this, let's listen to some of this conversation. Now you're about to hear. We're all looking at this case going, why are we not finding out who belongs to the male blood attached to the handrail? We're all trying to figure that out. And then I remembered this clip from way back when, and I'm like, OMG, could that be JD's blood? I'm just asking. Let's get into this. Listen to this.
It's like it was so frustrating during the process of how they were keeping information so close to the vest and not releasing a lot. I mean, I know you guys were more in the know than the public and the media, but I'm sure even you were like begging for answers.
Yeah, and when you have answers and you can't share them, it's really hard too. It's hard on the other side. So, I knew Jack D had DNA,
Did you hear him? He knew Jack D had DNA, meaning, most likely, at the crime scene, right? He knew JD's DNA was at the crime scene. Well, to a certain extent, it could be expected, so would it really bother you? Unless it was something like blood, dried blood, that might bother you. Let's go back and listen to what Steve G's saying. Now that we know we have also a bloody glove outside, and we have unknown male DNA blood on the hand railing too. Let's go back and listen a little bit.
He had DNA, and I was just...
Okay, who? Let's back it up.
I knew Jack D had DNA, and I was just so puzzled that they wouldn't come out and clear it. But I'm sure.
Okay. He was just so puzzled, and they would not come out and clear it. Now, knowing that we have unknown blood DNA in this case, it really does leave me about the same feeling of puzzlement that Steve G may. Did he know? Did he know? What do you think, Debbie? Hey, Moonchild, Audrey, Carolyn Miller, Nikki UK, good to see you. Happy birthday, Claire! And Audrey? Is it Audrey's birthday? And it's your Audrey's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, everybody. That way I cover everybody. I'm just like, okay, so right there, I had already covered in the past this clip without knowing anything about unknown male blood DNA. I had already been on to this, like, why are we hearing that they didn't want to clear JD? So, the more the interviews goes through things with this family, the more Steve starts opening up that the wounds don't match. And we didn't understand that until I listened very close and did a little bit of research. The wounds don't match between upstairs and downstairs, you guys. The points of damage don't match, suggesting a completely different type of manner of death for the downstairs people versus the upstairs people. Could that mean two attackers? All right, so with this back-to-back, none of us know who JD has in his back pocket, hypothetically. I mean, as a person of interest, not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just looking at this from, this is Kaylee's ex of 10 days. She's leaving. She's taking the dog, right? Okay. And she is taking the dog. We have an ad that is run, and if I have to go get it for you, I'll get it if you need it. But in this, listen to how hard it is for him to let go. That is JD.
Jack D had DNA, and I was just so puzzled that they wouldn't come out and clear it. But I'm sure they had strong reason.
It took everything he could get. I'm sure they had strong reasons. Remember the share the strong alibi? Share the strong alibi. If he has an alibi, share the strong alibi. Remember that statement? Well, that's what he's talking about. He was talking about JD.
He had DNA, and I was just so puzzled that they wouldn't come out and clear it. But I'm sure they had strong reason. But I just didn't know at the time, and it was hard for me.
His last question would be just...
It was hard for him. In fact, is this the one? No, this is what I wanted you to look at. This is how hard it was for Steve G.
Really have to just take care of each other. You got to reach out and hug people, make yourself uncomfortable, and just be part of the healing and take advantage of every opportunity that you can tell your child that you love them, and don't let them giving them a hug, even if they're annoyed and they don't want you and you're embarrassing. Just say, I'll hug you longer if you just don't get this over with. So if that's, it's going to take that. If this community is going to help us, we all know that we can't do it alone. And I thank you guys all for here and starting that process right here in our own little community. Thank you guys.
Watch this. See that look? Let's go back.
Guys.
Look at him. His tongue is so pushed into his cheek, he's about to bite his own tongue off. And look at JD. I just wanted to pause on that very uncomfortable moment. So I don't think I'm barking up the wrong tree when I said something changed. And something did change because Steve G went on to communicate in later interviews that it'd be a hell of a guilt feeling for a family to feel that their one was a reason that others lost their lives. And I realized he didn't want that. And she wasn't going to have that. Kaylee wasn't going to be remembered that way. So something changed. Let's listen to this little couple clips here.
Hearing this name Jack and phone calls going back and forth. Can you tell us anything about that?
We love Jack. Absolutely love Jack. We stand behind Jack 1,000%. Jack was Kaylee's boyfriend for many years. They just recently broke up. There was no animosity at all. It was a breakup on Kaylee's point. It was not, they still talked every single day. Kaylee just thought that she needed a little break. They were on the mend of getting back together. Kaylee talked to Jack the whole time she was here for that week and a half.
One of her last messages, he reached out to Jack and said, Jack, get back to me. And he didn't. She goes, we share a dog together, which they did. She's like, you need to reach out to me. So
please come over. She was wanting Jack to come over. Jack is not, they're wasting their time with Jack. And Jack is just as distraught as we are. Jack is, no.
We don't think he's a suspect.
At all.
We keep hearing this name Jack and phone calls going back and forth.
So, interesting enough, a lot of us, including myself, believe that those text messages and a couple phone calls didn't come from the victims at all, but rather may have come from the attacker. Interesting, a lot of people want to argue with me that Kaylee's phone was never returned, and I've often wondered, Was it because it wasn't there? Did the killer keep the phone after he used it? So let's talk about Kaylee's phone. Wait. Yeah, I'll come back to that one. We'll listen to Kaylee's phone first, but let me move this ahead so I make sure and hit it, because I want to show you some of JD's special talents too.
I know you mentioned that that you guys wanted to get like her phone back. Is there anything else that like you guys were like, oh my gosh, I would love to have this?
We asked for a list of the things that they had to take, because we know of some things like a laptop, an Apple laptop, and a couple of things. We couldn't even get them to give a list. So
of things that they had, and I mean, maybe it sounds stupid, but I don't really know why Kaylee's phone is evidence. Like, what is on? So it makes me think, what is on it?
yeah, that makes you go cuckoo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, okay, what is on it?
Her speaker, it's kind of unusual item not to give back. The laptops, multiple laptops, not just one. All electronics, it seems like they've kept of hers. So, and her bake records, the amount of records on Kayla was probably, I think fairly to say, was more than the other victims. So, curious where that's going to come.
If we got like her wallet. Like,
we got things from her room. Her room really was a part of it.
I'm talking about like her wallet with her ID in it and her debit card. And
Yeah, we have those items.
So they really didn't get the phone back. And I have another clip where later they're still going on about not having Kaylee's phone. And so, we don't really ever hear of it being in evidence. There's nobody going, yep, Kaylee's phone's in evidence. They've got it. And the thing is the other victims' families did get the phones back. So why is Kaylee's not being handed back? Is that a momentum, a token? Just asking questions. All right, I want to show you this. I got to get really small over here. Here we go now. This is JD's talents. Look at this. Check out this dude. Here's JD. That's an axe, my friends. Going down the stairs, not even having to, what? A baker's rack. Are you kidding me? You want to see that again? This is crazy to me. This person can balance an axe on their chin. They're also a tennis player. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. This is rough. This is a rough one.
You fucking asshole! You fucking liar! You fucking manipulator!
Don't wear that outfit again.
I believe that's Kaylee's voice after listening to him. And I know they said it's just a song. It's a little part of a movie. I don't think so. I think it was a very weird video to put out. It's certainly not something you want to put out on a friend. Yeah, and the house being torn down. Oh, Shinji, well, this is one of my suspects, in my opinion. Okay, let's keep going, you guys. I just really want you to watch that one more time before we jump ahead. Now remember, Steve G's the one saying that this kid's DNA is found at the scene. So, is this the kid? Is this one of the blood DNAs? I want to know. I just do. Let's go here. Let's see what this was about.
office's parents sharing exclusively with GMA never before seen
Hey,
pictures
Kelly.
and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
There's a type you can like season with these. Like, you can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Oh, Evelyn Guyman,
This is
thank
in
you.
front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
Okay, did you hear that? Again, they were still waiting. They're still waiting on a digital copy of Kaylee's phone. They had not even gotten a digital copy of it yet. Why? So if the last text messages are all about the dog and the dog survived, that's also a quinky dink, ain't it? Like, it just so happens that the victim's concerned about the dog. We share a dog together, and then the dog happens to be one of the few survivors, the only survivor of the top floor. You see, if Kaylee was this big, like, oh, rug dealer and all this kind of stuff, you'd be able to have picked up that scent a long time ago for real. And, I mean, everybody wants to put Kara in this position, all this kind of stuff. They would have taken Kara out before they would have worried about this situation. Just saying, she was the one they were worried about talking. Right, in that scenario. So for me, it's just like, okay, I get it. Some people want to believe that. I just don't. I listen to what is going on with the evidence. And Kaylee's phone has never been produced in this case or acknowledged that it even exists. The family doesn't understand it. I don't understand it. The only way that I could make sense of it is if it is actually not there. If it was kept by someone that wanted some memories. Just saying. Makes you wonder. Lisa Townsend said Jack D had a white bandage on his left thumb at the memorial. You see it right before Steve and him stare at each other. And if that's true, if that is true, then could that be because he's still bleeding from when he got cut? Could he have gotten cut? Could that be dried blood on a glove and handrail, or both, or either? But see, if that would have happened, OMG, it would be all about the vandals, right? All about that college, right? So, it can't be all about Kaylee. That wouldn't feel good. That wouldn't look good. And it can't be all about the vandals. And I'm sure he might have had a helper, being that there was, Adam knew everything. Showalter seemed to be like the one that's tagging along out of the three men to make sure and keep tabs on him, because they ditched him like, oh, we don't need a watchdog. Thank you. Just saying. So yeah, the digital copy isn't even being given. All right, let's listen to this little clip.
One of the most interesting things that we've learned about this case is what the parents had to say about the context of Kaylee's voicemail message.
Reporter room
Jack.
shout out.
Listen to this.
One of her messages, one of her last messages, she reached out to Jack and said, Jack, get back to me. And he didn't. She goes, we share a dog together, which they did. She's like, you need to reach out to me. So
Please come over. She was wanting Jack to come over.
Okay. She wanted Jack to come over. But Kayla's phone's not accounted for. I don't believe it was her. And so, who would text the ex right? I mean, if you're the attacker, why would you text the ex? It almost gives the ex an alibi. I don't know. Let's listen to this little number right here.
We're supposed to believe he just takes out 4 on his way to. It just seems like a
Over
huge-
what custody of the dog? Like, there's just
It wasn't all
Kaylee
this.
was leaving.
Kaylee was looking for every excuse for him to pick the phone up.
Yes.
To read those texts. Like,
She
I will
wanted
leave
him to
tonight
know.
with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing.
Aw, so yeah. And they even when they broke up, they still communicated.
Yes,
it
every
sounds
day.
like.
All the
All right, hold on. I'll leave with the dog tonight if you don't come over. She wanted him there. Hook, line, and sinker. Because otherwise they'd have the phone. And see, to me, if they know that that's the only phone missing right there, they have a prime person. I don't understand why we have to go through the charade of even doing this. I mean, why is nobody... I guess I'd be putting in my whatever it took to get introduced third party right now. That's how I'd be. I'd be like, I want third party suspect of whoever that unknown DNA is. Whatever. We need the name we're using as our third party. Yep. Third party suspect. Right here. I mean, if I was a betting person, I'd bet 90% of everything I got that male unknown DNA belongs to someone that these kids knew. That'd just be my bet. Somebody that loved that dog. Right? Let's go ahead and finish playing this out.
We're supposed to
I'll
believe
back
he
off
just
and let you
takes out
watch this
4
because
on
I
his
did my
way
work
to.
on this a long time ago.
It just seems like a
Over
huge-
what custody of the dog? Like, there's just
It wasn't all
Kaylee
this.
was leaving.
Kaylee was looking for every excuse for him to pick the phone up.
Yes.
To read those texts. Like, I
She
will
wanted
leave
him to
tonight
know.
with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing.
Aw, so yeah. And they even when they broke up, they still communicated.
Yes,
it
every
sounds
day.
like
All the
it's
time.
like you know.
The whole time she
In
was
that
gone.
bar
it
scene,
was just a.
they were around him.
Yeah.
Not
They were-
Miss Jackson over here in the corner. No, she was around her ex, you know, and to me that's comfort level, that's body language, this is the person that I'm comfortable in. I
She
will
wanted
leave
him to
tonight
know.
with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing.
You know.
The whole time she
In
was
that
gone.
bar scene,
It was just a.
they were around him.
Yeah.
Not
They were-
Miss Jackson over here in the corner. No, she was around her ex.
She
I will
wanted
leave
him to
tonight
know.
with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing.
She wanted him to
Tonight with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing. She was around her ex, you know.
So, you can see what I'm getting at. It's like they had their own answers, but it would be too horrific to even believe. And so they had to project it away onto somebody else and buy into a different narrative that fixed their belief system, that their daughter had nothing to do with any of this, that she is just a random person. That felt better. That healed some of the pain. And then that way their trust is not broken. Right? It's kind of like finding the evidence but not wanting to, not being able to face reality in a way, in my opinion. Elizabeth Munster says, supposedly Maddie tried to call Jack D as well that night. Correct? Ocean Deep 24, maybe there was a text argument about the dog that led up to this. There was a lot of thumb action, right? So Kaylee was at the grub truck and she was like massively on that phone. Like the world didn't matter. She was communicating with someone. Think about how she had just had the conversation. She was on her way to the grub truck. You could tell she was like alerted. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Oh, I told Adam, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. And she was like, okay. And she got focused. And she continued to be focused at the grub truck. So there was some damage control going on Kaylee's part, I believe. That's just my belief, though. All right, let's listen to this little part and see what this is about.
I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway. I just feel it. Yeah. I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know that.
Oh, yeah. We don't. Yeah, we absolutely don't know that.
Okay.
I just feel it in my heart that.
The reason I grabbed that is because I personally believe a mother's intuition is always right from the get-go. And though things have changed, this Christy right here, I believe she's right. I really do. Listen to her again.
I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway. I just feel it. Yeah. I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know that.
Oh, yeah. We don't. Yeah, we absolutely don't know that. I just feel it in my heart that they knew the person, and I've always felt that way. I don't know why, but I've always said they knew him. They knew him. They know him. Yeah. I just don't feel like this was like some rando just driving through Moscow, happened to stop by their house. As a mother, I feel like they know him. I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway. I just feel it. Yeah. I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know.
All right. How interesting. Ocean Deep 24 says, in my opinion, definitely knew the person. Hey, Lou, good to see you. Mark and Betty, how are you? You say you will be shocked what comes out in this trial. This is damage limitation. Not sure I followed, but thank you. Hey, musical Contessa.
Claudius joins us now. Steve,
okay, listen.
Before we start this interview, I just want you to know how much our hearts go out to you. That I know from what.
Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. There were 2 parts to this interview, back to back. This is the second version because they deleted the first version because he talked about the big open gouges and they deleted it. But what he's going to get into is trying to avoid saying that the points of damage don't match between the victims. And he goes into this in 2 different news clips. I got the second one, and then I guess there was 3. The first one got deleted. I had the second and third. And in that, it lets you know that he's having a hard time, this being one person that could have done it. Right? That there's 2 different modes of attack here almost. And that's what we later find out is there's 2 different types of attack. We have big open gouges on this level, but we have more like slice over here. Not to be too graphic, but
I'm hearing from people everywhere that they are with you, they're praying for you, and they're also hoping for justice to come sooner rather than later for your daughter and her friends. You mentioned here, you talked about the manner in which Kaylee and Maddie were killed is different. And what does that tell you, and what are the police telling you that means?
There's a couple things that tell me with common sense, but I'm not a professional, so I want to specify that. But they've said the entry point was the slider or the window. It was in the middle floor. So to me, he doesn't have to go upstairs. His entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. Looks like he probably may have not gone downstairs. We don't know that for sure, but he obviously went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can kind of tell by my daughter's texts, messages. She did call 911. She wasn't saying anything along the lines of like.
She didn't call 911. So for everybody out there that thinks that Kaylee dialed 911, he literally says she didn't call 911, but He didn't have to go upstairs, so he made a choice. So he's acknowledging at this moment, this is before there was a Kohlberger. There was no Kohlberger. He's acknowledging, and this is the ones I'm talking about, these interviews that tell you can see how low he feels. He feels like the target is his daughter. He feels responsible for these others. You can feel the weight on his shoulders. He's begging them to come out and explain why there's two different types of attacks going on here. But he doesn't want to blow the investigation. But now he's going to go drink Kool-Aid later and he'll be a Kohlberger, guilter. But before that, right here, he's telling you he's exhausted. And he's losing the battle. He's losing the battle because there's some feeling that this person has chosen to go up the stairs. He also is going to tell you that his daughter suffered far worse wounds than the other ones.
They've said the entry point was the slider or the window. It was in the middle floor. So to me, he doesn't have to go upstairs. His entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. Looks like he probably may have not gone downstairs. We don't know that for sure, but he obviously went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can kind of tell by my daughter's texts, messages. She did call 911. She wasn't saying anything along the lines of like she had heard something or she was in fear. So I'm just putting the dots together. As far as the investigators, they're very tight-lipped and they're keeping everything close to their vest. And I understand that, and I'm probably not the right person to share all these things with. So I'm just trusting them that their case is super tight and they don't really need to reach out to the community. And, all the evidence is right there in that home.
So, Steve, and I want to be respectful, as I can tell you're trying to walk this tightrope as well with law enforcement, but the desire to know and get some type of action as well. You've said both now to Rachel and then in the clip in your appearance with Lawrence Jones that your daughter and Maddie had different means or manner of attack, and that suggests one of them was targeted. Can you share with us, do you know, and you can't share either way, which one was targeted?
I can't. I asked for permission to do just that, and they said no.
See, he got shut down after he did the interview.
Disclosed information that they wish I wouldn't have said. But the story's going cold. There's less people coming to Moscow. I'm not going to go sleep in my bed knowing that I could get up and I could go to town and I could do something. And I'm not going to go away. And
so the cat's out of the bag. They told you what he said. Now he can't say it again.
That I could be doing something. So that's why I'm not.
Understandable. Wow.
Let me ask the flip side too. You're being respectful toward police about the fact that they need to be tight-lipped. But if there was something you felt like you deserved to know or you should know as a father at this point, are there questions you have unresolved from the police that you feel like, hey, just throw me a bone here and let me know?
For sure. I mean, alibis. Just share the alibi. If you're not sharing an alibi, to me, it tells me that you're not 100% confident that it's going to stick, or you have somebody who's going to come forward and say, hey,
JD.
I don't know what he told you or that person's alibi was, but I have this information. I have something. So if you don't share the alibi, it makes it a little bit harder for us to just let those go. And I've said it before. I don't want to make victims out of just bystanders and witnesses. So I just share those things, and that would help.
Steve, do you get the sense that you're being asked to not talk more and that law enforcement is being so tight-lipped to protect an investigation that is honing in on a conclusion, or because they're totally lost and there is no real sense of direction? And I think all of us, we want to trust law enforcement. We want them to do their job. But I don't know if you know. I have no idea.
It's because they don't like the way he's controlling the narrative. They are going to walk a different narrative. and Steve's sharing information that he's learning, and that's not going to bode well. It's not. Not if they're going to play this off on a patsy, right? Oh, 13 months, Debbie Gazzardo. Thank you, lovely, for being a starlight for 13 months. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. How are we doing on time? You guys, it is time for us to jump over and do the time warp. Let me get this off the screen because I always hide behind it and don't mean to. Let me move that so that you can see Debbie. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I am about to jump off here. We're going to do the time warp. I don't know why, but I have been thinking of Nicola Bowley for 3 days. Nicola is just in my head. I've had a couple dreams. I don't even know what they are. And I'm like, I'm just going to pull some cards and see what comes out. I also want to say, if Summer Wells is still alive and well, I wish her happy birthday. And if she's in heaven above, I thank you for sharing her energy with us for 5 short years. I never knew this little girl, but I hope everything wonderful is happening for her now. Love you, Summer Wells. All right, you guys, we're going to jump over. We're going to do the time warp again. It's just a jump to your left, right? And pull your knees in tight if you want to do it. If you don't, I get it. Card reading's not everybody's style.